Hey everybody, what's going on, and welcome back to another video. So this one is going to be pretty different from my normal videos. We're going to be talking about the new Corvette today. I'm not going to be kind of listing details and all the specs on the car and all the blah blah kind of that everybody's doing. I'm just going to mention my personal opinion to you guys, and I want you to leave a comment, tell me what you think about it in response to what I'm saying, or your personal opinion about it. But the release of the new Corvette, it definitely has my attention. Now, I've never really been a Corvette guy. I've always liked Camaros. I still do. Obviously, I have a third-gen Camaro. I had a third-gen Camaro before that. I have a Trans Am, which is basically another third-gen Camaro. And even when the sixth-gen Camaro came out, I was kind of considering getting one of them around the time that I put the blower on the Camaro. But I was looking for something, you know, comfortable, a lot of features, good power that you could drive every day, and a 6th gen is definitely a good choice for that. And obviously, as you become older, certain stuff, you know, becomes more available to you than when you're younger or in high school, and you're like, oh, that's a great car. You know, you get an actual job, and you can kind of afford better things, and you know, this stuff could become more of a reality. I was definitely interested in getting like a 6th gen 1LE, who knows, maybe even a ZL1. But I went the blow around on the Camaro for now, and I am definitely happy I did that. A lot of you guys are interested in that. It kind of helped the channel grow a little bit. But I also had an interest in the C7 Corvette. Just over the C6, when they redid the taillights, they completely overhauled the interior. They just made it look so much nicer and so much more upscale. That really caught my attention. And plus, Corvettes, unlike Camaros and Mustangs and Chargers and all that, just the driving, it's not a muscle car, it's basically a sports car, so the driving position is a lot lower. The overall feel of driving is just completely different than driving a regular muscle car. But anyway, when the C7 came out, I kind of had interest in it, and I was looking on Auto Trader along with Camaros and considering getting like a pre-owned one. And now the C8 comes along, and I'm even more interested. I mean, the top 3 things that stick out to me that I think it's just absolutely incredible. One thing is the price. They said it's going to be under $60,000, which I think is just incredible. I mean, I think the car now, it's at like 55. It starts out, it might be a little bit more than that. So keeping it under 60, even if it's like 58, 59, that's still pretty much right in the ballpark where it is. And especially, they completely did the whole car over. It's not like they just, like they kind of went from 5th gen to a 6th gen. Even though it's a different platform, it kind of looks the same. You know, there's similarities in the shape and the front end. This thing, they threw the engine in the back. It's completely redesigned. I think they said like only one part on the entire car got carried over from the C7. But the price point is definitely very, very attractive for a car, for a mid-engined car that apparently does 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds, which brings me to my second point, which is the performance. They're saying 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. The engine puts out 495 horsepower, which really isn't a lot by today's standards. Honestly, I was slightly disappointed when they said that. I was thinking it was going to be maybe like 520 or like, you know, 500 at least. I mean, it's basically 500 horsepower. But I thought it would have been a little more than that. Given that power, the performance number of apparently 0 to 60 under 3 seconds, that is just unbelievable for a car that price point. Which brings me to my third point, or the third thing I like about it, as far as performance goes, is they still have a pushrod V8 in the thing. And I think that's where they were able to keep the price down by not developing this whole new engine. And obviously, if they come out with like the Zora concept people are talking about, or who knows what the Z06 and the Z01 is going to bring. But the fact that they kept it, it's a 6.2, it's an LT2, V8, pushrod. They didn't go to like a Turbo 6 or something smaller like that. They kept a V8 pushrod. Basically, what's in this thing right now, what's in the Trans Am, not only I think it's hilarious, I also think it's awesome. It's amazing that they cared enough. I don't know if they were just kind of being cheap about it to kind of keep the price point down, or they just wanted to kind of stick to their roots and continue to develop these engines, which is kind of what they mentioned in the live stream. But I think it's awesome for to design this fancy kind of exotic looking car with those performance numbers And to still just have a pushrod V8 in it, I think it's just a huge slap in the face to all the German cars and everything like that. Now, will I get one? Who knows? Possibly in the future. Who knows what mods come out for it? Sure, I definitely consider getting one. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm definitely pretty excited about it. I can't wait to see what it does at the track, when they release all the numbers, what it actually weighs. They really didn't get into the details on the size of the brakes and, you know, the weight and stuff like that. It does have 2 cargo compartments, apparently. You can put luggage in the front, you can put luggage in the back. And it does seem like they put a lot of thought into it. I was just looking through the videos Chevy uploaded last night on YouTube. And it seems like they put a lot of thought into all this stuff between the shifter and the interior design. And it just seems like they knew what they were doing when they were putting this thing together. And I mean, for what it is, even if we call it 60, a $60,000 mid-engined car that'll do 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. There is nothing. What can you compare to that? There is nothing in its class. It's basically in a class of its own. Nothing can touch it at that point for a mid-engine car and the performance numbers. It's absolutely ridiculous. So once this thing actually gets to the track, I'm really wondering how it's going to compare to even the current cars, like a ZL1, you know, at the track, or even a ZL1 1LE. How close is it going to come to those cars with the mid-engine setup? I mean, as for the weight, it seems like it could be the same as a C7. It has basically the same engine, and they just, and aside from the transmission, all the other stuff seems to be kind of thought out as far as saving weight. Like, they have that new carbon fiber bumper beam in the back, and the linings in like the trunk and like the trunk in the front, they're like this really lightweight fiberglass. It seems like they put a lot of thought in shaving weight off of it. The only other thing actually I want to touch on is the transmission, because as far as we can tell, there isn't a manual. There's, at least with the base model car that's being released right now, there isn't going to be manual transmission. And you guys know that I love my manual. I did briefly consider putting a manual in the Trans Am, and the fact that you can't get this car in a manual, honestly, everything else they did to it, I don't even care. If I was going to get one, I wouldn't even like think about getting a manual, just because it's dual clutch now, and just the design of the car, and it's more of a kind of supercar experience. And it is a dual clutch. You'll have those instant shifts. I won't even think about really getting a manual, honestly. You might as well just stick with the automatic at that point, because you're going to get the most performance out of it. And yeah, it kind of sucks. I know all the older guys are going to not like the fact, obviously, they're putting the engine in the back, and there isn't a manual. But I mean, from a performance standpoint, they did all this stuff for the better. They didn't just do this to piss people off. They did it to expand the car and make it perform better. And for that price, people should be jumping up and down. And people are complaining it's not a real Corvette, it's an exotic car now. It's like, the Corvette's been kind of the same way for the past 60-something years. Obviously, some people don't like change, but I mean, in this situation, change, I think is going to be very good. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I'm not really a Corvette guy, so it's not going to affect me as much by, you know, the engine being in the back and not being a true Corvette, as a lot of people are saying. But to me, that doesn't, like, who would even care about that? The amount of stuff they did to the car, the amount that they're going to increase the performance with this new platform, and for the price point, it's not like they did all this stuff and then it has like a base price of like $120,000 or even like $150,000. You're getting all this extra performance with this mid-engine car, and it's basically the same price. So you might want the engine in the front, might want your manual transmission. The manual thing I kind of understand, made so many other leaps with the rest of the car, and they kept it at that affordable kind of price point. I just think it's incredible. But that's enough of my rambling on, guys. I know this video isn't something you'd probably expect from me. There are probably a million Corvette videos on here, but I was watching the live stream last night, and just everything about it, I was like, this thing is absolutely incredible. Plus, they have that thing with the front end. It lifts the front end if you're coming up to a speed bump or your driveway. It jacks the front end up like 2 inches or so, and you can save the thing in the GPS. So you're coming up to your driveway, the car is going to recognize you saved that point, and it's going to automatically lift the front end so you don't scrape it. It's like, that is something, I think that's probably the thing I'm most excited about for the entire car, is that they cared enough to put that feature in there, because with my car, it's always scraping the front end. I know anybody with a lowered car, or even a 6th gen Camaro, anything with like a lip on the front, that's a huge problem. Between going over speed bumps or like steep driveways, it could be a real pain in the ass. And the fact that they thought enough to put that in there, I think it's awesome. But I don't know if that's going to be on the base model car or not. If it is, that is just another thing that makes the car absolutely ridiculous. But I could kind of see that being like an add-on thing, just like they had kind of the front end camera. I think they only offered it on the 2LT for the C7. But once again, any of you guys who have an opinion on this, you want to respond to what I'm saying right now, definitely leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think about the whole redesign of the car. You think it's for the better? And for now, I'm going to end this video here. Once again, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely please leave a comment, like the video if you want, and I'll see you in the next one.